Okay, welcome to the Rebuilding Futures podcast. I'm your producer, co-host, Kenneth Young. In the building today, or not in the building today, let's say online today, we have Elric Truvillion, Mr. Aaron Charles, and Miss Grace. What's up, people?
What's going
Hey,
on,
happy
Ken?
Sunday.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on?
Sir. How y'all doing?
Doing all right, man. Just happy to be here again, man. Just sticking to it, sticking with it, and trying to help the people, man.
You know how I do it. I bob and weave and duck and dodge, and I keep it between mine, eggs, and mustard.
What
Okay,
All
great. Your
right.
turn. You have some sort of soliloquy you want to say or something? Because we heard too.
Huh?
You have something you want to say? Aaron had his
Ken,
slogan. Food had his slogan. You have a slogan?
Uh, no,
Me,
not really.
me neither. Just didn't want to be the only one. I didn't want to be the only.
Oh,
come
okay.
on, Ken. Come on, Ken.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. We'll work on it. We'll work.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
right.
Tell him, man.
We'll work on it.
I'm
Okay.
trying to roll in the big league with y'all big dogs.
Oh,
No.
really?
Great yesterday that is waiting in the studio. We're about to bring them on. You wanna introduce them first, or you want to bring them on and introduce them?
Probably you're not gonna do the whole. Well, are we live? We are live. You know what? Oh
We
Lord,
live right
Yeah,
now.
act like a
just bring them
professional
on. I
now.
got you. Just bring them on.
Come on,
Okay,
sister.
I got it. I'm gonna roll with it today. I was a little more prepared. Come on with it.
Yeah, we all the way live.
Okay, and here we go. Grace, Mr. Anthony London has joined us in the building.
Yo,
Welcome
yo, what's
to the
up?
Building Futures podcast, Anthony London. How are you?
Thank y'all for having me. I'm blessed. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm cool, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you
Absolutely,
for
brother. Thank you for coming
joining
on.
us.
Thank you,
Yes,
bro.
No
thank you.
doubt, no doubt.
So we have Mr. Kenneth Young, who is the creator. We have with us Aaron Charles and Mr. Elric Trevelyan. Welcome again. Thank you for joining us. Mr.
No
London,
doubt, no doubt.
can you give us a little bit of background? Tell us who Mr. London is. Let you go ahead and open it up.
Oh well, Mr. London, man. I'm just a normal guy, man. I come from New Orleans, Louisiana, born and raised. By way Houston, Texas now. Uh, I'm a street cat. Real talk. I'm a street cat. Just figured out how to do it a different way. I was blessed to live through a couple of trials and tribulations. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm an entrepreneur, motivational speaker. I'm an author. Um, Man, I didn't been in several different network marketing companies, and believe it or not, man, I basically got personal development. I never made no money in the companies, but I did learn. I didn't earn a lot. I learned a lot. So it
Right.
kind of put me on the path of critiquing myself to be an entrepreneur. So that was a blessing in the hand. You see, you never lose. You always learn. So that was one of the things. I started this nonprofit a couple of years ago. I started out with the kids. I had a little league football team. The company is called Mindset Therapy Real Talk. Well, Mindset Therapy Business Services. But out of that, I developed a little podcast, Mindset Therapy Real Talk Podcast. So, through mindset therapy, I went to dealing with the kids. And as I'm dealing with the kids, I found myself dealing with their parents kind of more than I was dealing with them. And it became, in mindset therapy, we help people
Right.
believe in themselves again.
Yeah.
We help men, women, and children. I used to say we help kids, but now we help men, women, and children. So,
Right.
but it was a must. It was a must. And when I realized that, I was like, man, uh, to get to the kids, you got to get to the parents first, because you can teach a kid anything, but when you send them
Right.
back in that same environment, they like unlearning what you then gave them, relearning what they came with. So, it was like beating a dead horse. So, kind of figured out a strategy to get with the parents or the whoever the legal guardian is, and kind of see where they at with it, and try to share with them so we can team up to help the kid because it take a village. You know what I'm saying?
Raise them.
Right.
That's right.
right.
Man, 2 weeks ago, let me jump in here real quick, Grace, because I mean I know you kind of leading the flow right
No,
now,
go
but I
ahead.
got to
Do your
touch on
thing.
this.
Yes.
So nice to meet you, Mr. Anthony London. This is Aaron
No
Charles
doubt,
right
no
here.
doubt. Same here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and hit you up real quick because you said that you and you in Houston, but you come
Yeah,
from New Orleans. So I'm
yeah,
a Houston boy. I made my stop in New Orleans, Algiers Point, West Bank. You know what that is, right across the
yeah.
river by the
Oh
Navy
yeah,
base. You know what I'm saying? I'm up in
yeah,
Dallas.
yeah.
So, but 2 weeks ago though, Ken and I
Mm-hmm.
had the opportunity to do a podcast, and Ken is involved in youth sports and a lot of different activities for the community.
Okay.
And exactly what you just said that you are doing is what we talked about. Is one of the most critical things that has
Wow.
to happen in the life of those children, because we know that some parents, if they have the opportunity to, would treat you like a glorified babysitter, drop those kids off,
Yeah.
pay no attention to them. Kids say they'll go to happy hour, come back half-ass drunk, pick their kids up and go home,
Yeah.
right? And so we
Yes,
just
sir.
talked about laying the foundation and building a network for what you already are doing, man. So I want to celebrate you right now for that. I want to
Man, I
celebrate you, brother.
appreciate that,
No.
man. I really appreciate that because is they will anything will go viral if it's negative, but when you see people dropping small nuggets or doing small things that's really not small, it's really big, but just
Right.
the atmosphere we living in today make it look like people shun it, but really they need to be celebrated because it's not about the person or the situation. It's about the kids
Right,
who it affects. It affect the kids, and that's our future. So we can't get them right. We lost.
Right,
right,
Yes,
right.
sir.
Hey,
right,
Mr.
right.
Mr. I want to
I can't
Eric.
hear.
I'm Eric. First of all, I want to give a salute to you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. No doubt.
Yeah, because I'm from Louisiana myself, man, by way of Texas. Uh,
No doubt.
First of all, what
He breaking up. I couldn't really make out what he said.
what part of New Orleans are you from?
I'm off the West Bank, 15 Wall.
Okay, you from the fifth. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm considered North Shore,
What, what part of Louisiana?
Bogalusa, from Bogalusa.
Brother. Brother Lewis. Matter of fact, man, I got a brother I met doing dealing with the football, and matter of fact, he's from Bogalusa, but he relocated, I think, in Cincinnati, and man, some kind of way we hooked up. He wanted my son to play on an all-star team, but he from Bogalusa. His name Tony. Man, what's Tony last name, man? I can't think of Tony's last name, but the brother is pretty cool, but he from Bugaloosa, and I went to y'all little festival out there. Long story short,
Oh
don't
yeah.
y'all have a festival out there in Bugaloosa?
What festival you talking?
Mardi Gras? I
Oh yeah.
think it's Mardi Gras,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah yeah. We try to
and I
contact.
never know.
Oh yeah.
I never know they had a Mardi Gras in Bugaloo. It was lit.
I appreciate it. But
Well,
Hmm.
what I want, give me a little background of the West. Uh, how you
You
came.
said give you who?
He said,
Uh,
give him little background about the West Bank, the 15th Ward, and what it was like out that way.
yeah.
Man, as you know, well,
The
I'm 47,
1.5.
so right. Everything is walls where I'm from, and I got around. I was blessed enough to be, a solid dude, and I was raised under some solid cats to where I moved around. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother actually lived in Harvey. But from there, by me going to school in LJS, my people moved to the 15th. I had some people in the project in the Fisher, but I was, in the
Right,
Calio and the Melf and the Mac. Matter of fact, that's how, me and Gangster really, jammed up and got cool. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because I was running through their project, and is real recognize real. And when you running, you got to think about it. Back then, in the late '80s, early '90s, if you was running in different areas, you had to be somebody and know somebody to be in them areas because you just couldn't, go fluctuate anywhere. People kind of was staying offish. They'll be in their own little section. Like if I was from Harvard, I was in the best spot because I can go hang in the Magnolia and the Milk because I'm not into none of their politics. I'm just cool with a bunch of leaders that's who living back there. So one thing led to another, and as we got locked up, went to Scotland, and the relationship just grew. But the West Bank it's just like the West Bank and the East Bank. They try to say it's a difference, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? The people may be a little different, but it's not because they got the same crime going on, the same thing. It's the same. Now after the storm, the West Bank got a little bit. uh I can say darker because
Right.
it wasn't no more where you're from because you was everywhere. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They had Uptown living in Harvey. They had the Ninth Ward living in Marrero. They had, West Rego living in Algiers. It was mixed up. It was a mixture of everybody all over the West Bank because Orleans Parish had took such a hit from Katrina. It took years to build it back up. But when they did build it back up, the projects is down. You know what I'm saying? Ain't
Right.
no more projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a question, Mr. London. Speaking
Yes,
of
ma'am.
Louisiana, I want to tap into a little bit about how what your childhood looked like growing up in Louisiana.
Mm.
Man, you say Louisiana, and don't look at me like hold on, excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all.
It's
No,
okay.
Let me just look. I can't tell you how it is in Louisiana, but growing up in New Orleans,
Or New Orleans. I'm
because there's a
sorry. That's what
difference.
I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I meant New Orleans.
look, no, you didn't do nothing. Look, I'm just telling you, this is what I learned by just visiting and going. In Louisiana is they got some of the most friendliest, down to earth people in the world. But when you come down to New Orleans, it's a little different monster. You know what I'm saying? The older you get, the more like the Louisianas you get. But as the age get to like past the elderly, a little younger, it get crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like a wall was put up. Certain stuff wasn't taught, or if it was taught, it wasn't. The dialect was off. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really receive it. But growing up, man, my grandmother and my mother raised me, and there was two awesome women, man. I got my game from women. Believe it or not, my father was absolute in my life. Uh, I didn't really grow up to have stepdads, because me and my brother, God bless it, did we didn't take the strangers too much, and it wasn't that we was taught that, but it was only me and my brother, my grandmother, and my mother, and a bunch of aunties. So it wasn't really, my uncles they was running doing their thing, so we was kind of like the protectors. So we didn't really take the men coming in the house trying to, you know, grow their muscle. We didn't. And it wasn't a good thing, but we kind of we revolved around those women, and the women really taught us the respect. How I learned to respect women. I learned it from another woman. A man didn't teach me that.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
respect, yes ma'am, no ma'am. A woman taught me that. I
Yeah.
didn't get to see a man work and take care of my mama. I didn't see my mom have anniversaries, get pampered as a woman or nothing. I didn't get to see my mom enjoy that. So that's why I always told myself when I do settle down or whatever woman I do get, I'm gonna give her everything I didn't see my mom get. You know what I'm saying? Out of respect. I don't curse my wife. I don't do none of that out of what I seen happen to my mom. And when my dad did come around, it was the total opposite. He cursed her, he dogged her, he beat her, he done everything the opposite of what I am now to women. Even before I settled down, I wasn't no, like no wild man goalie. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of women, but I had a lot of women out of ignorance, not just out of wanting to be a, you know, braggadocious or nothing like that. It was just like, man, that's what I was doing. I was being a following the wrong way on that level. But my mom and my grandmother, they didn't really play a lot of women coming in the house. So, I probably had one Pacific girl coming by the house. Other than that, if anything else come around there, they're gonna tell on me. If they don't tell on me, they're gonna run the girls and make them not come around no more. But they've done a real good job, man.
So let me
That's
ask.
real talk.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So let me ask you, what led? I know you did some time, right?
Yeah.
What can we talk about? What led up to you having to do time, and what that looked like during that time.
All right. Well, the first time, I got, I got a possession charge. Every charge I had was a possession. I had a possession of 508 grams, and
Great.
that was as a juvenile. So when I got juvenile life for it. So when I went to Scotland in Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
but in order for me to get listen to me, they had different. After I got that charge and I was fighting, and I was in and out for little miscellaneous stuff, getting suspended, getting expelled, other little drug charges, an ounce here, 2.5 there. I never really done the run into the court or to get the cell charge thing. I was blessed on that level. You know what I'm saying? But when I got introduced to the game, I was in a the streets would say in a good situation, but it wasn't. Now that I'm old and I understand, but back then when you're young and you ambitious and you living like that, it was the perfect opportunity. So and then I was loyal, so that's what made it even worse. By me being loyal to the wrong people.
Right.
But anyway, it was all drugs. It led me to my Scotland time. I done all juvenile life. I done 3 years because I graduated. I got my GED and I took college courses in Scotland. I got released early, but 6 months after I was out of my juvenile time, I got caught with another large amount of drugs. Made mine got caught with another large amount of drugs, and that's what led me to my 10-year sentence. And after
Mm.
that, it was just trying to beat parole back and forth, for years. I
Yeah.
was on parole look like every day of my life.
Yeah. So how did you cope with being in? Like what being so young, of course, not understanding all the legalities and things that come with the system, right? I can relate to that, but
Yeah.
how did you cope as you navigated through, all those years? What were your coping mechanisms mentally to help you mentally?
See, it's three different cycles today. My first cycle, it was like I was on a field trip. I had fun,
Mm,
fighting, doing everything that's against the system while you in jail. I mean, it was like a vacation.
mm,
We was having fun in Scotland. You know what I'm saying? The after Scotland, when it started getting to adult jail, it got scary. The first time it was scary because when they send you to hunt, and you go in the beavers, you in the 2-man cell block, and you don't know who coming in the cell block with you then. You feel me? So by you being young, but by me having the name already, and people knowing my people, it was like a no fly zone. It was already respected, so I didn't really get too much funk unless I put myself in situations. But not a thinking start as I get to adult, because when I'm a juvenile, I'm not thinking. I'm not. We just flying through time, man. I'm
right.
thinking about how much I'm gonna try to get when I get home. It's no rehabilitation at all. No classes, no nothing. I done the graduating, getting the GED, and going to college because that helped me got out quick.
Oh,
They put me in the drug program. I learned the 12 step program by heart. I mean, mastered the 12 steps. They thought I was such a brilliant young man that I was ready to do right, but I only manipulated that situation to come home.
mm,
When I touched those streets, man, after my juvenile time, man, the 12 steps was out the door. The next time I remember saying the serenity prayer, I was in adult jail. Man, so I was that was that the juvenile was just crazy. But as the early adult time, I went to thinking a little bit, but I never really got to the point to where I said, God, I ain't doing it no more. I used to pray and hey God, I used to tell God I was going home and hustle. I didn't want to lie. I didn't want to play with God. I didn't want to be like, oh, no, God, I ain't gonna do it no more. No, no, I ain't doing that. Come to
mm,
Bible. We about to pray. Now y'all go ahead pray. I'm gonna stay over here. I'm gonna do my own praying. So I got on my bed and done my own prayer. But I never really, cause I always thought that was playing with God. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Okay,
I thought that was just the worst.
Mr. Anthony London, look,
Yes,
let me
sir.
here, man. Through all your trials and tribulation, at what time did you decide to that the streets is good, but at the same time I need to make a change?
Uh,
What opened your eyes? What opened your eyes to say, you know what, all this gutter, uh, and gangster is cool, but I need to prepare for my future?
Uh, when I had when my wife was pregnant, when we conceived my son, which he's 15 now. Because at the time, at the time, I thought I couldn't have any more kids from being shot up, and because that's what they told us. So when she got pregnant with him, it was a big old thing. It was like, you tripping? That ain't my baby. They said I can't have babies. So we kind of split, and I went back to the city. But let me tell you how God worked. He kind of he was pulling on my heartstrings. Like I said, I never played with God. I never even thought about leaving the game. And they say God bless fools and babies.
Baby.
While I sure wasn't a baby, I was a damn fool. I was an absolute fool that didn't know a lot at all, not by choice. So God went to sending people in my life that's getting, because God got a way of talking to you through people. And
Right.
so I had a listening ear at this time. I'd have been shot up. They said it was wrong. I died 3 times, had 6 surgeries, 16 blood transfusions, stayed in bed tied 4 months. So I know God real at this time, because I ain't had no reason for God to spare my life. Because I wasn't no bad person or no cutthroat person, but I wasn't doing it right. I was in the street. So
Right.
after all that, and that didn't change me. It didn't change me at that point, but it gave me a spiritual mindset in a sense. I went to really kind of trying to, find out what God really about. But I was doing it like, on a under, you know what I'm saying? Not really out loud. I was just doing it on my own time. So when I took my first couple of steps, without the wheelchair and a walker, I was like, man, I'm going back to New Orleans and hustle. I can't. She say she pregnant. I can't take care of no baby right now. I ain't been in the game in like almost 2 years. I've been shot up bad.
So,
So,
not to cut you
what you
off.
say?
Not to cut you off. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed. I noticed when Hurricane Katrina hit, a lot of people migrated to different states, but a lot of people wanted to get back to New Orleans. Now, uh, that's what that's I want to know. Why is it that you come from a
I
soul?
didn't go back.
Huh?
You trying to ask me why I didn't go back?
No, 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 no. That's not what I'm
Oh,
asking. I'm asking you.
I'm sorry.
I knew a lot of people that yearn to go back to New Orleans to that lifestyle. Uh, what stopped you from going back from that lifestyle? Because it was a lot of people that was in a better position and had better opportunities when Katrina hit. What what deterred you from not going back to the if I may say uh
Uh,
grimy?
oh man, yeah. Uh, I had, I had. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, cut off for a minute. I'm sorry. To answer your question, brother, it was. I had 2 daughters. I had a biological baby for my wife, and she had a young daughter when we met. So they had gotten in school. So I kind of saw the education in the school system was kind of better. So, me and my girl at the time, I'm like, man, we need to think about, we owned our home in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, we had to go back because of financial reasons or nothing. I left with money. And I was one of and it was sad, bro, because a lot of people were stuck out. So we saw the bigger picture. Even though I saw it in a weird way, we saw the bigger picture and we understood that if we have a chance to be out here, and I knew, even though I got shot out here, Houston didn't do me nothing. Houston, the people out here was beautiful. They didn't do me nothing. The guy from New Orleans shot me. So I was like, man, I see something out here. I don't know what it is yet, you know what I'm saying? But I see something. It was a piece. So we done the back and forth thing for a minute. But to answer your question, it was the piece. This, people say New Orleans and Houston the same. No, they're a lie. It's not. It depends on how you live it, and we saw the peace in it because we didn't wasn't looking through our eyes. We was looking at our children, our 2 girls
So
at the time.
describe describe
Huh?
describe the peace when you say
Mm.
peace. You know, because your piece and my piece and somebody else's piece may be totally different. How did you know that this is because growing up in New Orleans, peace, I mean, it's hard to find peace, you know, because
Mhm.
your head has to be on a swivel all the time. So when you got to Houston, how did you know how you know that was good peace versus if this is not right enough?
I can leave my house and leave at the time my apartment complex without being stopped 4 times by the police. I can walk in the store and see a officer come in the store and speak to him, and he speak back, and that's what it be.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knew me. The police didn't harass me. They didn't arrest my kids. They didn't stop my wife. They didn't have our doors bust open on the highway. I didn't have to worry about the dude walking down the street, standing by the stop sign. You know, it just wasn't. It wasn't. It was like, you know, nobody knew me. Nobody knew my family. It was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And the people that we did meet, you know, there was good people. You know, they didn't live how I lived, but that they still was good people, man. They was family orientated. So I got to see another side that I liked it. I really I wanted to, you know, try to, you know, venture off into this side, you know, but at the same time, you know, as the street pull you back, that's why it took a while for me to really get it because, you know, I'm on one side, I'm on this side, I'm on one side, but you know, yeah, man. And then I was faced with the point that, you know, I could have, you know, it was either leave the streets, you know, lose my family. You feel me? You know, she was through with it. She was like, man, look, if you don't live like this and we in a whole nother state, you still gonna be moving. Look, you know, you can keep. I'm gone. We checking out. You know what I'm saying? And she was
So
big old pregnant at the time.
So
she.
our goal is to just share our stories openly, and thank you for doing that, so that we can
Mhm,
help somebody who's in a situation where they're going to change their life as well, and they just may not know
mhm.
how to do it. So when you went from being in the streets and seeing a significant amount of money by sticking and moving, and you said, "Hey, I'm gonna put an end to that and do something different." What did that look like for you, as far as employment, the amount of money you made, what it took to survive? Um,
Terrible.
right,
Terrible.
right.
Terrible. I mean, that was more difficult than being shot. And you got to think about it. I I was shot significantly. I couldn't go out there and get an all-show job or go work at the plants out here that was paying all the big bread. They had gave me disability before I left being tied. So, you know, you got to know what they look like. 5.95 a month to
Mm,
take care of who?
right.
How does that add up? I couldn't get Social Security because I had no work points. I learned that. I learned a lot of stuff by getting denied. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to, you know, the 5 something a month coming in, and then now my wife, you know, got to go back into the work scene. But what she didn't, you know, when you have somebody on your side that understand and is gonna push for betterment, regardless of what it look like, you know what I'm saying, or what you got to go through, that helps a lot too. But still, you know, I never even you know, I used to wonder why people contemplate suicide or why they, man. But when you hit rock bottom like that and you used to controlling everything with, you know, money. Man, bro, it was bad. It was terrible, bro. It was
So what did you
terrible.
end up doing? Like what type of job did you get? How did you start gaining some momentum?
What I done was I tried barber school. I never actually cut hair before. You know, I never even hold a pair of clippers, but I went and failed miserably. Found out I wasn't a barber, you know. So, you know, and the mind you will give me that cushion is because in the middle of my wife being not like pregnant for like the whole summer of 2008, I went to New Orleans and got it in. You dig? And I came home with a couple, you know, a little cushion to buy a new vehicle, you know, but that was it. When I left New Orleans, God put a shield over me. I said, Lord, if you get me through this and I go home, it's over with. Whoever owe me, they can have it. I don't want nothing. I'm not leaving nothing but with currency. And that's what I done. I stuck to it. And then plus, on top of that, I brought one of my nephews with me that he in a federal penitentiary now. But if I wouldn't have took him at that time, he probably would have been dead. You feel me? So, I took him back, So when I left, I just didn't leave selfish land. Even my little ones who believed, I took them with me. Let's go. We're going to change our life. It was, come on, let's go. So we went down there, man. The little cash, when it rained out, man, we had built the system. So my wife is real good with a dollar. She can make $1 stretch into $10 some kind of way. I don't know. It's magic. But she had an order on paying our bills. You know what I'm saying? So we had the little system of paying bills down pat. With the little income we had left and what was coming in. So that was it though. It was no go have fun, piece of parties, none of that. No. It was it. They
Yeah.
ain't want to give us no food stamps or nothing. They ain't want to give us. So it was hard, bro. It was terribly hard.
So,
But to answer your question, I'm sorry. I didn't answer the main question.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Miss Grace. I'm sorry. Look, what got my wheels spinning again was network marketing. Believe it or not,
With it. Go ahead.
network marketing. That right now money. How they say it? They got different ways to get paid. They got the compensation plan and they got the right now money. Right now money is what you make off the products you sell, the hand to hand combat. Like I was in a company called Orders International and they had body magic that'll drop a woman out 2 to 3 dress sizes without surgeries, pills, or exercise. What man? I was popping them sisters off, man, and they have the juice. I still drink today. I drank the juice. It's called Aviv. I drank it today. It help you keep down blood. It's 5 different antioxidant fruits, and it help blood sugar. It help the circulation in your blood. It put oxygen back in old people like me body, so the body can heal itself. Because the body heals itself if you put the right stuff in it.
That's
So
right.
Yeah.
that's how I kind of kept $1,000 in my pocket a month. Just hustling, selling that like I was selling work.
Yeah. You change your hustle. You change your hustle.
Yeah,
The
it
right
was
way.
hard, though. Lord Jesus, it was hard.
But it was good though.
Oh yes, man. It was worth it. It was worth it, man. Because God bless obedience. I didn't know that then. I was just being obedient because, for one thing, I'm not a rat. So, but I'm not going to jail and get no life. You know what I'm saying? So since I know I ain't going to get no life and I ain't going to rat on nobody, man, and I don't want to lose my family because if I go to jail, my wife gone. She
Yeah.
done been there all these years. She gone. The kids gonna rock with mama. Man, I quit. It's over with.
Yeah.
So,
I'ma holler at y'all.
so
I
let me
quit.
ask,
Y'all can have him.
Anthony,
Yes, ma'am.
you have several, and shout out to your beautiful wife, Miss Chantel London, who is a gem to behold. I tell you, so you
Well,
are blessed. The Bible says, "He that
yeah.
finds a wife finds a good thing."
Good
So
thing.
that's your good thing, and obtains favor.
God bless me. Bro.
So, you
Right.
have favor on you because of your extra amount of favor because of your wife, but you have several business ventures. You have a book out. Do you want to speak to those
Yes.
things? Like, what inspired you, first of all, to write your book?
Well, just beating the game. You know what I'm saying? The name of the book is called Beating the Game: 7 Steps to Developing a Positive Mindset. Just knowing how I kind of the game beat me down. I don't know really it did it beat the crap out of me, but in a mental standpoint, I kind of got away. You know what I'm saying? I got away in my life. I got away with my family. I got away without going back to going to the feds or going back to the state. I help people, I bless people. So I feel like, I beat the game and plus I'm trying to give something back to the streets I tore up for so many years. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? So I started writing this book in the beginning of 2013. It was already thought of though, but when I started writing this book, let me tell you, in a process of me getting this book finished, my grandmother passed, my
Mm-hmm.
mom passed. My brother was murdered. His oldest son was murdered.
Oh, wow.
My daughter godfather was murdered. My son godfather was murdered. Then my brother baby boy was murdered.
Mm.
And like 2 other people in my family just died. the fentanyl thing and natural causes and all kind of stuff. So I'm not counting those people there, you know what I'm saying? But it was like 9 different close people in my I was like, man, still fuck that book, man. I ain't writing that book, man. Every time I pick the book up, it looked like somebody died, man. My wife was like, "No, baby, that's it. That's why you got to finish it. You got to finish it because look, it's something don't want you to finish the book." So I was like, "Man," she told me into it. But if it was up to me, I'm being honest, man. I would have burnt that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I felt. I
Yeah.
felt like, man, this book was bringing on. Excuse my French, y'all. I'm sorry, but the book was bringing on all the feelings. You know, even when I go back to the book and try to finish it, now I'm thinking about everything that had happened. You know what I'm saying? So the book got a lot of, is me. You feel
Yeah.
me? It's
I
me.
understand.
It's
So
definitely
what
me.
it's called 7 steps. So what can you give me one of the steps that stands out the most that may be able to help somebody that's listening? What's instead of going through all 7, give me one that stands out the most.
Grace, you took my
You said it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't chime in. I
you
want to just listen. I'm sorry.
you said it. Step one. Step
mm,
one is changing your circle. And without changing your circle, you could never have a chance to change your mindset. Because when you around the same people you used to being around, you steady getting fed the same old thing. Not saying you better than anybody else, but to give yourself a chance to change, you got to break off from the pack and go get yourself together. And when you break off from the pack, now you can start changing different things because your thoughts. That's your whatever you think is gonna be your words. Whatever your thoughts be, whatever your words be, eventually it's gonna be your action. So you got to get those thoughts together. And it take practice. It just don't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, changing your circle. That's that's number one.
Okay. And you and your wife have several business ventures. Can you discuss, you know, what how you got to that point? Because coming from the streets and having that access to that money, when you start a business, you got to grind it out, and
I didn't
sometimes
see it.
it's
I
tough.
didn't see it at all. I didn't see it. I didn't see. I didn't know how we was gonna, start. But I'm gonna tell you, my wife learned how to deal with credit. So the first thing she done was she fixed my credit. I never even had credit before, but I had child support, you know what I'm saying, from my oldest son. And it was and it beat me down. God bless I didn't have the almost 500, $600,000 hospital bill on that because of disability. But that's the only thing they did for me. But other than that, learning credit, learning financial education, learning how to make the lil you have work for you. And so what we done was we fixed our credit and we got a couple of put our position to get a couple of loans. So we invested in this tax business, which we just was only the financial backing. Well, the sister we entrusted into dealing with it, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't right. So when we got her out the way, it was either start a company or let it go under or take it over, ourselves. I know I can't get no number from the Fed, you feel me? So she did. She went and got all the credentials and she took it over herself and the tax company been kind of like, leading the way for us for like one of our streams of income. But most definitely credit uh repairing people credit. That's what kind of got us in the door. You know what I'm
What?
saying? Helping people prepare their credit, just making ends from that and just taking the money, being smart with it. You know what I mean?
okay,
Yes, yeah.
I got a question
Man,
on.
I gotta jump in right here if you don't mind, man, because I just gotta speak to how you have grabbed a hold of some things, and it seems like you had a purpose behind it, and so you became a finisher, right? So I did 11 years, right? All of us have done a little bit of time,
Wow.
minus Ken. I don't know if Grace did some hard time in the county jail behind tickets or not, but all the rest of us done some,
I got
done some real penitentiary time.
You know,
So, when I
You got
came
that one
home,
in, Miss Grace. I like
it's a
that.
childhood record. I
You
got
got
it.
one in. I like
she said
that,
I got bonded out quick, baby. It ain't
man.
official.
Yeah, I got
so
that. Yeah, I
so
like
I
that.
I did we did the when I first came home, I said, what is a quick hustle? Man, I started doing the credit repair, right? And it was just easy,
Wow.
quick money. Because we so it seems to me like you did the same thing I did. You looked at the landscape and said, what do I have around me? A bunch of people who grew up just like me that have no idea what financial literacy is really all about. So I'm gonna learn the crumbs of it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start fixing their credit, because I fixed mine and mine is okay enough to just go and give me a little bit of credit card, go give me this little piece of car from this little dealership. So I got a way around, I got a little bit of money, so I'm gonna start fixing credit, right? So I didn't persist with it, even though I was making, decent money with it. And then my ex-wife, thank the Lord, and all he blesses us with, she was a, what do you call that, a realtor, but on again, off again. So I said, let me get something that's more consistent. And the tax business is something that we kicked up and started to go strong with. We ran that only for about 4 seasons, but every season it was stronger. Right. So
Yeah,
before we split ways or whatever, that business had already ramped itself up good enough to where she could just sell the business and make a little money off of the book of business that was built up. So I
that's
just,
right.
yeah, I'm just looking at how you persisted and how you finished, and I like it. It's really it's doing two things. It's like, for me, it's like getting I get the hand both ways, right? It's like I get slapped because I didn't keep on going with something that was making me money, so I could have my own business and pull away from just work in America. But I also get a handshake of acknowledgement to let me know that I was at least going in the right direction.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah, I
brother.
get the
That's right.
hand both ways
Exactly.
on that.
Say, say,
Say, let me tell you something. I'm sorry. Let me tell you
say,
this though.
go ahead.
See that financial education, bro. So many people look. I was blind, man. I was trying to we had this company called Walk by Faith Omega 369. And what it was we had created this little company off for Artists International because of the Omega 369. If you know people that take like have blood clots, they got to take this medicine called Coumadin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coumadin, well, I'm from New Orleans. Coumadin is rat poison. So a lot of people get bad side effects. It's terrible. It's terrible
Hmm.
medicines. You shouldn't be taking it. But anyway, I substituted the Coumadin for the omega 369, which is a natural supplement which does the same thing that Coumadin do, but does it in a more safer way. You know what I'm saying? Because I suffer with blood clots for the rest of my life for the gunshot wound, so I have to take thinners all the time. So I don't take the thinners. I take the Coumadin. Well, I take the omega 369. I'm sorry. So when I learned that and I saw what it was doing with me, I started pushing it, especially to our elderly people. So my wife is like, man, look, I'm gonna fix your credit and we're gonna walk in the bank and get a loan. I said, oh, boy, people ain't gonna give me nothing. She said, listen, I've been studying. I got this. This ain't illegal. This ain't nothing. Man, I want to fix my credit. We walked in BV Compass, whatever the name of it is. I hate banks,
BBVA.
but BBVA walked in that, man, and people gave me 40 grand. Ain't a hassle, offered me coffee, cookies, everything. I'm all that from a credit score. I'm like, man, so when she done that to me, that were our testimonies for our
Right.
for our
Yeah.
clients. And what we do, we ain't take money off top. We took money after the results.
Mm,
Once we get your results, once you see your credit score going down and you got your system going, boom, that's when you pay your bill. We because they had so many scammers out there that was making the game bad. People ain't want to mess with you, so we had to get a strategy to work around that because it needs to be taught. It needs to be taught in school, and they don't teach the kids financial literacy in school. But man, what you saying, I know it's law because man, I'm a testament of it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. It's good to see that you're sustaining out there. So, as far as the book goes, right? I know there's a lot of different ways for people to introduce books out here to the world, to publish books. So,
Mm.
if for the people that are going to tap into the show, to the podcast, where can people find your book right now if they want to buy it?
Well, I got it working like this because me and Amazon are in a heated battle right now because the Amazon do you wrong when you don't know. When you don't have nobody advocating for you and that know how to work the Amazon system, they'll beat you. They beat you down. So that's what they done me. So now I just work through my email, mindset therapy 504 at Gmail. So I had to set up to where they drop me an email, put their information in. I send them the book, pop, and they follow the directions, pop, $20 cash up. I charge $20 for my book because I didn't do it for monetary reasons. I done it to get in the front door instead of walking in the back door. If you get what
Right.
I'm saying, because
Right.
my passion is speaking. I love to talk, so I'm gonna use it. And then I have an honest, true testimony that I could tell people that can give them hope. So I kind of tapped into the motivational speaking, the public speaking. So one of my mentors told me, if you want to get in the front door, write your book. So that's where the book really came from, but getting it done was a whole nother monster. But I really, man, a woman charged me almost an arm and a leg to show me how to do something I could have done by myself. But I took it with a lesson, and I had no ill will with the sister because she taught me something.
Right.
I happily paid her because everything ain't free out here, and that's one thing our people got to understand. You can't expect people to give you what they know for free. I mean, I think it should be a way they can do it, but and not knock your head off. But man, money is up there with air and water. Everyone needs it. You feel me? So when you work yourself to that stage, you don't want a compensation for for your hard work. So I understood that, but I didn't think she had to whip me down like that once I found out how to do it. So what I do is I show people how to do it off top and just get the blessing, whatever the blessing be.
Right.
Okay, I got a question, Anthony. Anthony.
Hmm.
Okay, so uh, take a second,
Hmm.
and I want you to talk to this guy that's he finna get ready to get out of prison.
Hmm.
And he's somewhere in the world. He's somewhere in the world, and he didn't had a similar lifestyle as you, because your same lifestyle is mimicked all over the world in all hoods.
Hmm.
Now, some are greater, some are worse. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
I want you to speak to him and let him know or her know that it's another way that they can take that walk through life, and it can be better for them. What would you say to them right now?
I would tell them give themselves a chance. Give yourself a chance to win. Because a lot of people never tried. They never even tried to walk on the right side of the road. I know I didn't. So when you do get the opportunity to walk, you got to walk and understand that you're a winner from the beginning. You're a winner. You have a chance. You don't have to take the wrongs. We've been doing that all our life. That's what ended us up in jail. So just give yourself a chance. If you don't give yourself a chance, it's done. You might as well roll over and jump in your casket right now because it's over. Give yourself a chance. Love yourself. If you love yourself and find a reason to love yourself, you wouldn't want to go back on the wrong side of the road. You would not want to. I know you got people that love you. I know you have people that believe in you. You can't do it for them. Find a reason to do it for you. You got to have a why that'll make you cry. Because if you don't, you're not going to succeed. And it starts when you hit those gates. You can say and do anything you want behind those gates. I'm gonna listen to you because that's my job. But I want to see your actions. Actions speak louder than words. So let's get it. Ain't no excuse. You got all the things around you set up to help you and not baby you, but help you push you forward. Let's go.
How was you able to recognize that? Because streets, there's right,
Wait, I didn't get the last part. What you said? You broke up a little bit.
right and wrong. How,
I
how was you able to recognize right and wrong? What's good for you? Because
Ooh,
growing up in the hood, the bad stuff that you did was actually the good stuff for what you knew. But how was you able to recognize that was bad stuff?
I went back and studied the law, statutes, and commandments. And when I looked at that and I understood not the religion, the spiritual part, because religion will tell you anything, but the word of God tell you what it is, and it wasn't right. I wasn't doing it right, even though I thought I was doing it right. Even though the things I learned, I thought I was learning, because we have to unlearn a lot of things. Still, not to this day, I still have to unlearn a lot of things.
Right, right,
It's like raising your kids. You have to redirect them every day, 5,000 times a day, and you can't get tired of redirecting them, because they're gonna need it as they grow and be adults. Because us as adults, we still need redirecting. So just think about a child.
right. So I got another question. I got another question right
Come
quick.
on. I
So now,
hope I answered your question.
yeah. Answer you answered it. Trust me. And I got somebody else listening here. They shaking their head too. You know what I'm saying? And he from a whole nother culture. So yeah. So you touch.
Wow.
This is what you need to touch. So this is what I want to ask you. So how do you feel about the police?
Mm.
I respect them. I respect what they do. I don't respect the terrible ones, because it's too. And when you looking, when you talking about people that put their life on the line, because we not always right when dealing with police. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, but the police not always right. Now, to split that, you do have some good officers out there that's for the serve, protect and serve. Truly, them right there, I respect them. I respect what they do. I give them hats off, because their job is absolutely terrible. Because understand, when they fire, they can't just stand there and say, well, "You go see." No, you go. They got the man. Y'all get back. I got to run to that gunfire. Those right there, my hands go. It's mad respect. But the ones that don't understand what their job is, man, I stay away from. I don't hate them now, but I kind of stay away from them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no, but I respect the respectable ones.
I have a question.
If you understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question. So I want to talk reintegration. What did that look like for you, reintegrating back into society, learning new ways? And, time does not wait on anyone. So things have progressed while you're behind bars. What did that look like, coming home, having to learn how to do things, even down to talking to your wife and children? You know, be, I don't, I'm sure you got visits or whatever, but you know, coming back home to your family and just in a world where things have changed since you were locked up, possibly. What did that look like? How did you navigate
That's a
it?
good. That's a good question, Miss Grace. It's a sticky situation, and it's a thin line between. So look, let me explain to you if I can.
Okay.
Okay, when it's two different. It's two different situations, and it's always gonna be only two. It's never one. Either you coming home and you met someone while you was on your jokes, or like me. I'm gonna tell you me. When I went on my last joke, I had my wife. So my obligation was to go in there, learn more than I had learned before I went in there, and try to become a better person for my family when I come home. That's me. My attention is straight up showing them, not telling them, showing them that I'm a better man. Now, the other situation is the guy that been locked up for years, find a little boo on his jokes. Now he come home, but he see his partner them got families and got it going on. They living good. Now he want that, and a lot of brothers go backwards when they try to find that, because they haven't gave themselves chance enough to be free and live. They're trying to make them self a husband, and he's not ready to be a husband. You've been locked up 10 years, my guy. I'm not saying don't be with the woman, but you're not ready to be in a committed relationship, because you don't know what it is. If you was with her before you went on that jokes, and she jokes you the whole time, you obligated to that. But if that's not the case, man, live. Give yourself a chance to be free and understand the changes that life has took it. You feel me? Because some things never change, but a lot of things stay the same. So you got to understand and recognize that and have that discernment to be like, all right, this is for me now. It might have wasn't for me when I was before I went in, but now I'm at because you come out older, not younger. I'm at the age to where I can sit down and I can have temperament to understand that. Before I couldn't. So a lot of dudes be putting themselves in women that's not even for them. Women that don't even match their spirit, and it turned out to be toxic. She called the police on him. He going back, or he run to the street, he don't get high. So it's a two-headed monster. You know what I'm saying? But God, it's tricky. It's tricky.
Well, before we get out of here, just want to say thank you, for everything that you shared with us. And,
No,
Christopher Schenkel, is usually one of our primary contributors. But he kind of sat this one out. So I just want to make sure that you have opportunity if there's anything you want to interject or any questions you had.
Come on with it.
The Shanko.
Right.
Well, first off, I want to introduce myself. How you doing, Anthony? I'm Christopher Schenkel, man.
how you doing,
Um,
Mr. Chris?
oh man, good. The reason why I set this one out is because it seems like you've covered everything that I'm interested in. So you've done exactly what we all wanted. What I mean by that is we all, except for Grace, okay, and Kenneth. Uh,
Yeah.
so of course I know his whole entire story.
Say that.
We had decided when we came home for whatever reason that we wanted to do things differently. And we had something that motivated to make that change. Some of us did it because of money issues. Some of us did it because we wanted to prove that we could. Some of us did it just because we were just tired of messing up.
Yeah.
But the common denominator of all of us, and it's so funny because you didn't know any one of us. I don't know many times you heard our podcast or whatever the case may be, but y'all know one of the number one motivators of all of us has been we turned ourselves, our lives, and our hearts over to God.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. You said it. I never mentioned it. I don't think Aaron has ever mentioned it. Todd with your scoot, never mentioned it. Um, but when you start talking to people, and it's crazy that once something sparks inside of you that puts a connection with you and God, whether we want to or not, we change at that exact moment. And then things just seem to kind of fall in line, and it's hard. What I loved about your entire story, you kept saying, "Oh my God, it was hard. I was getting $500 a month because I hadn't gotten any points because I didn't have Social Security." And people don't even know that is a point system that every time you get paid and they take a certain amount of money out of your paycheck for Social Security, you're building up points, things of that nature. But when you explain that, believe it or not, there are people that were listening to you had no idea what you just said. But you shared with us that it was hard. It was very hard, but you didn't quit. You kept going and kept going. Well, those are the type of things that we just want to come out naturally. You said it without anyone ever just really pushing you towards that, and you shared it and kept going with it. So I kind of sat back and I just, I soaked everything in. And I'm like, okay, now this is the kind of guy that I will listen to. This is the kind of guy that I can feel is telling me the honest goodness truth. This is the kind of guy that has guidance from a higher power. No matter what we all say, there is something that made us switch, and we all know what it is. It was just that coming from God in certain kind of ways. Man, there was things that I'm sure that I did, um, and you and Aaron and all. We've all had that time where we tested to see if God was real. We made a prayer. We asked for something, and we knew that when we did it, we were all by ourselves. We were
That's right.
totally alone. And no, we didn't share that whatever it was, we didn't share it with anyone. And boom, it happened. And then we like, you can't deny it. It's impossible. And so once the change started, then it was like, I'm gonna show you. You got it or whatever. A friend of mine just called me a couple of days ago. Y'all make it short because I got like what 5 seconds left. Friend of mine called me a couple of days ago, and he had did 10 years flat. When he came home, his wife had divorced him. He had an extra child, and he was like, "Wow," you know. He said he kind of knew it prior to him going, but when he came home 10 years later, there's no denying it. The little girl was like
Wow.
him. It's like, I'm here now, right?
Right.
And dude, right now, man, he turned his life over to God, and this guy was a heck of a guy in a lot of ways. He was a what we would call a street soldier to the fullest. But while he was incarcerated, he was wild. He was young, this and that and other. And an older guy told him, "Hey, man, do you realize that you have a master's degree?" He said, "A master's degree, man. I graduated high school, man. I got a little bit of college. I don't have no master's degree." He said, "You have a master's degree of being ignorant. We all do. That's how we get here. Every last one of us. We got that
Yes,
degree.
sir.
Mine was given to me by the Texas Department of Corrections. I don't know where y'all was given, but mine was given me by the Texas Department of Corrections. They gave me my ID card. You know, you get an ID card when you're in college. They gave me my
Yeah.
ID card. Yeah, and then when I went for parole, I got my little. Yeah, I got it all, man. I say,
Yeah.
man, I got a master's degree at being stupid.
Yeah.
So now we trying to get a master's degree of correcting that
You learn a lot
and
from
being productive not as a citizen only, but to be productive as a father, a brother, son, friends. And friends, let me tell y'all something, man. Friends, friends, here's where the problem with friends are. If you never truly had one, you almost don't know how to judge whether you have a good one or a bad one.
Hmm.
But when you do have a true friend, they stand out. I'm blessed for true friends
Yeah.
that I know at any given time would do anything in the world for me, and I make sure they know I do anything in the world for them. And when I'm messing up, they will stand in the paint and tell me, "You messing up."
a lot of people say it though. A lot
That's
of people
right.
say
They'll tell, hey, and they'll tell me, "Hey, he's one of them." You know, that one right there, Eric Civilian. He's one of them. If I'm messing up, he come on, Shane, come on. You know, say, man, you knew better. You know, and that is what we need. Aaron hadn't been in my life but that long.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know if I start to sway in any way, he gonna call me up. We not gonna do the podcast thing. He gonna call me up on the phone and he gonna say, "Saint, man, what you doing, man?" You know, you know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
not finna hit me with the
Right.
motivational speaker. He gonna hit me with that brother love, like, you know, he gonna use the F words and the bombs, and he gonna let me know I'm out of line, and I need that
Right.
because I don't listen
Right.
to people because a funky pair of lips will say anything. It's your actions.
Mhm.
Action is the number one key to convincing me. Don't tell me nothing. I'm gonna start a business. Show me.
Right.
I'm gonna make. Show me.
Come
Now,
on.
you know, I'm going to church. Show me. Don't tell me nothing. Just show me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you show me, I'm gonna see everything you want me to see.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna
Yeah.
hear everything you want me to hear.
Shank, I want to say something to my guy Anthony London. Hey Anthony, I want to take my hat off to you, brother. Uh,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I
I,
salute you, Anthony.
I,
Thank
I understand your struggle. I understand what you went through. I know where you come from. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it was for you to be in the position that you're in. I know the fight that you put up. And what I want to say to you, brother, is not over. It's not over. Keep on, good fight, and you're gonna be all right, bro. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I received that. I received that, my brother. No doubt.
All right, man. We want to thank everybody who took some time out to take a little ride with us on a Sunday. Maybe it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day you decide to log in and take a look at the podcast. We appreciate you because at the Rebuild the Futures podcast, all we want to do is embody everything that the name represents. We want to rebuild our futures day by day like we always do. And we want to see that you guys are doing the same thing. From time to time, we're blessed with special guests. So we thank Mr. Anthony for coming on and sharing his story. He didn't come from London. He came from the 1.5. That's Algiers over there in New Orleans on the West Bank. And so those
Yes,
folks over
sir.
there have a totally different lifestyle that they live. When the devil took Jesus into the wilderness to tempt him, one of the things that he asked him to do was turn stones into bread. And in the 1.5, they turn stones into bread every single day. But Anthony London somehow figured out a way to go from turning stones into bread to getting bullets to writing books. And it's all about that change. And so since we have the evidence of change with us today, all had the opportunity to hear his testimony and what he shared to all of us about how he overcame, because it's all about being an overcomer. Now we have a base. We have a knowledge system. We have something we can reach back in and say, if he could, then I can as well. So since you have this evidence right here in your face, knowledge-based evidence, we just want to ask you guys to tap into it like you always do with the Rebuilding Futures podcast. We thank you for joining us another Sunday. We look forward to seeing you again. Salute, Mr. Anthony.
I have a
Salute,
Thank
question
y'all.
man.
too.
Thank y'all for having me.
Join
Wait, Anthony, where can you be reached at on your social media for mindset therapy, for your businesses? You know, if you want to go ahead and shout that out real quick. I'm sorry.
Well, you can drop an email at mindsettherapy504 at gmail. That's mindsettherapy504 at gmail. You can find me on Instagram at London929, and you can find me on Facebook at Anthony London. Period.
All right. Hey,
For
man, it was a
joining
pleasure.
us.
That's
Thank you.
it.
Y'all
Everybody
take
have a good
Thank
one.
y'all. I
All
appreciate
right.
y'all.
God
Bye.
All
bless.
right.
Man,
Take
appreciate
care.
it, bro.